grab your taco and start moving up front. We will be getting underway in 5 minutes or so. Those tacos are sponsored by Colaborator. Cool. That was nice because that actually helped us to become a networking. Although we could always move back and forth.
And people are more comfortable to think about it. So is live. It's harder to like get more nervous. But they can wait for
It's cash. Park it up here, Max.
Thank you, Josh.
You are,
Good to see you again.
You as well, sir. You are.
You're on that.
We appreciate you coming in the clinch.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta press the button.
Hey, man. Fan of the work, dude.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good. So Bernie and some other folks came into Austin Public where I work, the public access station.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were like, man, we used to be in here with
Hey
Corey.
guys, so grab some tacos, grab some tequila in this left back there. This is super casual, so during this session, if you need to get up and refresh your beverage or grab another taco, feel free. One quick announcement before we get started. It has to do with an awesome event happening here next Thursday night for the ride-sharing community here in Austin. Whoop whoop, right? Okay, so it's called A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Austin Ride-Sharing Galaxy. It's next Thursday the 16th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. It's an AMA style, so an Ask Me Anything event where the TNCs will get to pitch what they do, and then the audience can ask them questions. So we have our Arcade City, Fasten, Wings, Get Me confirmed, and we might have Ride Austin on board too. So anyways, we hope to see you back here next Thursday as well.
Thank you, Ashley. Hey, everybody. Hey. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm Josh Rubin. I'm the managing director of video for a company called The Daily Dot. I'm also the director of CF Studios, which is Capital Factory's in-house little community-built studio here, which I built as a way to try to expose media people to startup people and vice versa. What I tell people is that media people are really great at telling a narrative, but can't start a business and have no idea how to handle things like money, versus startups are great at coming up with great business models, but can't tell a fucking story to save their lives. So hopefully by combining the two in some way, shape, or form, good things will happen. These events are a natural outgrowth of that. They're called Intro to the Austin Media Scene because when I moved back to Austin about 5 years ago with CNN, I was shocked by how nobody in the media scene knew anybody else in said media scene. And it was 2 years before I realized Rooster Teeth was here, and I've been watching Red vs. Blue since like Windows Media Player. So, thank you old people who got that reference. I didn't say real player. So, my hope for these events is to really start conversations between people, to introduce different members of the media scene to each other. And by media scene, I mean media writ large, and that means film, that means journalism, that means PR, MarComm, video games, virtual reality, and everything in between. Because we ain't New York and we ain't LA. We can't afford to have the silos that those cities have, and it's incumbent upon us that if we want to have a robust and vibrant media scene, we need to be talking to each other. So that is the ultimate goal of these events. This is the third one, I think? Third event. So I'm trying to actually, thank you Ashley, trying to give it a little bit more focus, and the focus on this one specifically is on episodic content. How do we create it? How do we monetize it? What are the different ways of going about it? Because I'm someone who feels that Austin has a fantastic opportunity to become a hub for the creation of episodic content that can be spread and disseminated anywhere. You may disagree, in which case you can certainly tell me that. And I've tried to put together a panel of folks who can speak to different parts of both creating episodic and different revenue models for content creation here in Austin. I'm going to let them all introduce themselves. Before I start, I do want to thank our sponsor for the event, which is Colaborator, which is this fantastic platform. They provided your booze and your tacos. Booze and tacos, the fuel that makes the media scene go round. It's a fantastic tool for basically finding work. And not just finding work, but for businesses to find people to create for them. So I highly recommend checking it out. I recommend talking to Doug and the other folks from Collaborator, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But without further ado, we're just going to go down the line, and everyone is going to introduce themselves and say what they do.
Thank you, Josh.
Push the button on the bottom.
Push the button on the bottom. It's always fun to talk right after Josh because he's such a communicator. My name is Max Benitez, and I work at Austin Public, which is a part of Austin Film Society. It's the Austin Public Access Station, sort of reimagined as a place where people can come in, sort of incubate their content. So what I do is 3 different things. I work on gear rentals, so if you need gear that's at a friendly rate, or space rental, that's space rental at a friendly rate, and production services also at a friendly rate. That's what we do at Austin Public. And we're eager to find new collaborators. Because a lot of times what you find in town is that people have not heard of us. People have lived here all their lives, and they come to the building and they're like, how long has this been here? And I'm like, well, 20-something years. Well, come on down and check us out.
Thank you. I'm Corey Coleman. I am creator of doubletoasted.com, which is a fairly young live streaming comedic entertainment site. We're coming up on 2 years now. We come from a previous site called spill.com, which we did for roughly 10 years. And we were owned by a couple of companies. And when we were dropped by the last company after the 8th year, I was going to move to Turkey, but then we had a huge fan base, and who's not here right now,
You're
Brian.
gonna move to Turkey?
I would have moved to Turkey, yeah. Man, the dollar is strong in Turkey, man. It's like 3 times as much there. People don't think about that. I probably shouldn't be even saying this right now. but yeah, I was gonna go to Turkey, man, and live large, but we had a big fan base, and a guy that was supposed to be here tonight, Brian Brushwood, is a friend of mine. I've known him for years, and he called up and said, hey man, do a Kickstarter. I'm telling you, get some money. And I just got tired of him telling me to do that, so I put up a Kickstarter for $30,000, and we raised $130,000, so we used that to start that. I know, damn, right? so we started this, and so far, based on our subscription model base, we've been doing all right. We've done pretty well, so thank you for having me.
I will say I went to Turkey last summer and I bought a really nice rug.
It's
I could
awesome,
never
isn't it?
have afforded it in America. Anyway, I'm Danny Austin, and I'm a YouTuber and fashion blogger in Austin.
Is that legitimately your name, by the way? That's
Yeah,
not
it
a
actually
stage name?
is. I know, I just realized that. People think it's my stage name, but yeah, my last name is Austin. I'm from Dallas, but I thought I'd give it up. My last name is
That's just
Austin.
confusing.
So it's worked out pretty well. So I'm signed with Austin is TV, which is a network based out of LA. And you might know some other YouTubers. They represent Tyler Oakley or Ingrid Nelson. I don't know, it's like the YouTube world is different. I started out my channel with health and fitness videos, and now do beauty, fashion, lifestyle, and so that's where I'm at now.
I also know Brian Brushwood, and I bring that up because it shows the interconnectivity of Austin, which I think is what's really, really cool about this event. My name is Tate, but my alter ego on YouTube is Tay, T-A-Y. I am also a YouTuber. I had viral success about a year and a half ago with a video going viral on Reddit. It has 90,000 dislikes and millions of views. And taters, Tay haters. I'm signed with Fullscreen, which is a YouTube network, which the gentleman to my left will be able to talk about. But yeah, I, besides being an actor and a YouTuber here in Austin who's moved here from LA, I have done a lot of tech stuff here. I do branding and work with video campaigns for different startups here in Austin as well. And I think that there's so much opportunity in this city, so I'm really excited about tonight and us coming together.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm the Director of Marketing for Rooster Teeth. We're a media and entertainment company that have been around Austin now for about 13 years, started by 2 guys named Matt Hullum and Bernie Burns in Bernie's apartment, I think. They created the animated series Red vs. Blue that Josh was a fan of, going back to probably 2003. And from that, the series is now in its 14th season, and from there we now have, from 5 guys who started the company, we're now at like over 200 people. We've pretty much taken over the Austin Film Studios lot, and we produce hundreds of hours of content every month, short form, long form, animated, live action, gaming, let's plays. We made a film last year. We're pretty much doing it all. We have live events. We're about to take over downtown Austin in about 3 weeks with our RTX convention. About 50,000 nerds are going to be roaming around here with t-shirts, see t-shirts on. So we've been doing a whole lot lately. We were purchased by Fullscreen in November of 2014, and that really catapulted the company into this next phase where we are. It really gave us the ability to start really going big and producing bigger and better content, and has allowed us to get where we are today. So the Fullscreen partnership has been pretty great, and we've now been kind of spun off into our own business unit within the company. So it's been exciting.
Well, thank you. All right, so my first question is for all of you. How many of you are creators or consider yourself, content creators? How many of you are making a good living as a content creator? Actually, a couple. What are the biggest barriers? What are the biggest problems that you're finding as a content creator here in Austin? Anybody? Nobody? Okay. I'm sure there are some, but we need to warm you up a little bit more. That's fine. Matt?
Collaboration and mentorship. There are problems and challenges that have already been solved somewhere. Just as a content creator, we're kind of creating that path for sales.
Say that again.
So you have to reinvent the wheel. Oftentimes when figuring out full sales and marketing cycle.
Interesting. So, what's represented up here are a couple of different models of content creation, of people actually making a living, creating different styles of content. Let's go down here to the YouTubers right now, because that's really, both the granddaddy in many ways of making your own content and monetizing it, but still cutting edge in many ways. Like, how are you finding? What was your pathway to actually making a living doing this? Let's start with you, Ted.
Sure. I am super shameless talking about this. I've actually been kicked out of some conventions for being too honest. I have over 4 million views on my channel, and I've made $2,500. And not to knock the MCN that I'm signed with, but I have L'Oreal and Nike ads that run for 30 seconds that you can't skip. And I'm signed with the people you're supposed to be signed with. And YouTube is a horrible platform in my experience, and I'm super excited to hear other people's opinions for monetization. So one of the reasons that I moved to Austin was because I saw this was a tech city. There were other YouTubers here who I'd already collaborated with, heard about Rooster Teeth, other people who were really innovative in the space, and I wanted to find the people who were looking at new digital entertainment platforms. Like, and I was acting in LA before that, and I saw friends who were not making money being actors and actresses. We all know that TV's dying. So what's coming next? What's the new platform? Is YouTube sustainable? Is there something that's going to take its place? That's something that I've been coming to Capital Factory trying to learn as well. As a musician, because my channel is like comedy pop, music's even worse. Musicians definitely aren't making any money. So what is that future? I have started really utilizing Patreon. I'm lucky to have a consistent fan base that's based in Reddit. I see you nodding, maybe you utilize that as well. Yeah, it's amazing if you can utilize engagement, which I've really been focusing on, and like using your videos or whatever you're doing with your business to create those like real fans. They will pay, and they'll give you, your $5 per content or whatever it's going to be. But besides Patreon, I have not found much that's been really sustainable.
So I started my channel when I was a sophomore in college, and my brother was a musician on YouTube, so he introduced me to this whole space. I used to make fun of him because he'd be talking to a camera in his room by himself, and I thought it was the weirdest thing. But now, look at me, I'm doing the same thing. But what I realized once I signed with my MCN, which is, it was Big Frame at the time. They got bought out by Awesomeness TV. DreamWorks owns Awesomeness TV. And I had a manager, which was great. And so I was able, I was always focusing on creating really authentic content. And so it was great because it was just kind of my brand. It was like whatever I was using, whatever I was liking at the time. And so I decided I wanted to be like brand advocates I chose about 5 or 6 different brands, and I was like, these are my thing, this is what I really love. And those brands really noticed, and then my manager really noticed, and so she would reach out to the brands for me, and they would set up sponsorships, and I'm still to this day working with a lot of those brands. So that's helped me a lot monetize my channel. I also take advantage a lot of affiliate programs for my fashion blog, because that helps with, I think affiliate programs are great for like products that you're trying to sell. I also use a lot of marketplaces for YouTubers, Relio, FameBit. There's a lot of different marketplaces that you can get. You just sign up for them, and they have all these brands that are part of it. And of course, they're looking for a certain type of content creator, like a certain type of brand that they want to work with. But usually, like, I scroll through there and I find, like last year I graduated from college and I was moving into an apartment, and so that was very relevant to the content that I was creating. I was doing apartment tours and where I bought my bedspread or whatever it was. And so I got to go on that platform and find the brands that were just perfect for that type of content. But yeah, I think number one thing was for me just always being really authentic with the brands that you're working with, and not trying to force it, because especially nowadays, your audience can see right through that and they don't appreciate it.
So it's interesting, it's not just about making content. You're not just making a video, you're actually starting a business, which is, one of the reasons why I like hanging out in Capital Factory, because it, just reinforces that fact that there is more to content creation than the actual content creation and everything else. And the really interesting thing from, frankly, Rooster Teeth on down is that it's actually not about those programmatic ads that are running on your product. That's not how you're making a living. It's the community that you're engaging with that are financing you. And so, really focusing on connecting with that audience is vital to your success. Corey, could you talk a little bit about how you've gone about, finding and building, you basically built a radio network where people, it's your own little Sirius, XM.
20 years, man. Starting, you talk about access television. We, and there's my best friends back there, Martin Thomas. I started doing a cable access show, about 20-something odd years ago, and I started as a joke. And some people have heard this before, because I wanted to see some free movies, and we figured a friend of mine and I figured that if we started a show, we would be seen as press, and therefore we would be given free movies to go watch. So that's why we did it. We did it because we're just assholes. And the thing is,
that's pretty much the definition of press, is somebody who spent 15 years working in CNN. And
let me rephrase, we're cheap assholes. but no, we
haven't changed anything.
Nothing really hasn't changed either. But no, we built up an audience because of, if I can really just stress one thing to people out there, is quality and also consistency. Even though we were doing this as a joke, and even though we weren't taking it that seriously, we still wanted to represent ourselves in a way that was entertaining to people, and we did it every week. And we didn't get paid money for it, but because at that time, pre-YouTube, because we were just consistent with it and just being who we are, and just making people laugh, not just doing straightforward reviews, people recognize us around town. If I ever want to leave the house and go hang out and nobody wanted to hang with me, I would meet a stranger that would say, "Hey man, you did that crazy show," and I end up waking up with them the next day or something. It was, but that's
What kind of content do you think?
Go to Pornhub, you'll see. No, I'm kidding. No. But it was that consistency that was there. So basically what we did was we built an audience, and that knowledge of how to build an audience and have an audience stick with us is what transferred into our next project, which was the site I was telling you about, Spiller.com. That project came about because I have a background as an animator, and I was animating audio for my reviews, and it got bought up that way. But we just had this way of putting consistent content out there while also being ourselves. But one of the things that we learned from doing the Access show is that, we were just people. We would invite people every Wednesday after our show to come hang out with us, and it started out like 2 people at a Denny's to, later on, 20 people at a bar hanging out on Wednesdays, and we, strangers just hanging out, and we got that knowledge and figured out that we have to really communicate with the people to create a community. When we had that whole thing where we were not just talking amongst ourselves, we were not just doing a show and just talking to each other and just delivering information. We were actually addressing the audiences. When we would fight for real. We would, we would say whatever was on our mind, but we would, when we did that, we created an atmosphere of, and people to this day, they continue to tell us this. They say, man, we listen to you, or now when we watch you, we don't feel like we're just a viewer. We feel like we're hanging out with you. I mean, if people come to town and they act like we've known each other for years. So it's that strategic cultivating of an audience that has led to people being loyal. That's what led to people saying, I'm gonna give you money for a Kickstarter because I don't want you to go away, because it's not only I'm losing a show, I feel like I'm losing a friend, a family member. Just yesterday we read an email where somebody said, you kept me, we get this all the time actually, surprisingly, said you kept me from committing suicide because when I couldn't talk to anybody, I felt like I was hanging out with you guys, you made me laugh. Connection with the audience is very important, and that's how we did what we did.
Eric, if you could talk a little bit, I mean, Rooster Teeth is the granddaddy of community builds. I mean, no one has really done it better.
Right.
Talk a little bit about, Rooster.
I think what everybody's saying here, we're just now doing it on a much larger scale after 13 years. I mean, it's about authenticity, it's about cultivating an audience, it's about connecting with an audience. I mean, we get the same thing. We get people writing us and sending us fan art and saying, you guys have got me through the worst of times, and we love you for it. They consider our personalities friends. It's a different level of celebrity in this world, right? I've seen lots of research and lots of studies, and teenagers in early 20s, they look at like a celebrity, like a Kardashian. They're like, yeah, they're a celebrity, but Tyler Oakley is like my friend. He's not just some celebrity, even though he's really a big celebrity at this point. So we just continue to do that. We don't want to change that model. We're bigger, we're more corporate now, we're owned by a bigger company, but we don't ever want to lose that connection with our audience, that authenticity, and we want to continue to make shows that connect with them, and that our personalities and our love shines through for that.
The way I think about it often is film is a platform for the epic, and you look up there and it's huge. And there was McCleary, who's a media theorist, said that television is a platform that's about action and intimacy. But in this modern mediascape, using your phone, media is about intimacy. People need to feel like they're hanging out with you and in your living room, which lends itself to you have to have a certain vulnerability with your media. I mean, again, I spent 10 years with CNN. No one's ever been happy to see us come to town for a variety of reasons. But it's very interesting to watch the kind of community build that you're doing in terms of developing your own audience and developing outreach there. Max, in terms of building community in Austin, what is Austin Public trying to do to facilitate that growth of kind of the local community?
Well, first I want to thank Corey for mentioning Austin Public Access as a place where he got his start, because other people have got their start there. Richard Linklater got his start cutting Slacker in that building. Robert Rodriguez cut El Mariachi in that building. And so it's a place. Alex Jones, who couldn't be more different than Richard Linklater. They're like the diametric opposites of people. But I think of Austin Public Access and YouTube as sort of the same thing, sort of this platform where people can get a start and start to develop a community and sort of be around their peers and sort of really, really get a sense of who's in their cohort and who's going to be moving forward into the mediascape in a really meaningful way. So that's what we try to do. We try to educate people. So we have classes that are really low cost and can really bring people together and sort of get them to think about what they can do together and collaborate. And then on top of that, we have really, really high quality gear. So that sort of is the bait to draw people in, and we think of ourselves as sort of the beginning and the end of the YouTube thing. We see ourselves as a historical player, but also like maybe something of the future. And when YouTube actually visited us and came in, they said, "Wow, you guys are doing amazing things here, and we want to be involved."
Good. All right. So talking about community build, we've got two folks here that do YouTube videos. LA, New York have the YouTube creative space. They have huge YouTube communities that have developed. It's kind of the hallmark of YouTube, that it's not just about Tyler Oakley, but it's about Tyler Oakley's other friends that are YouTube creators and popping up in each other's videos. How much of that kind of content is being made here? What kind of YouTube, if any, creative scene is there in Austin? Because that seems to have been vital to the success of LA and New York. Do we have at least the beginnings of that here?
To be honest, I feel like there's not much, and maybe it's different now, but you know, when I started my channel 2 years ago, I actually moved out to LA for the summer, and I was working at YouTube Space, and I was a part of one of their content creator labs. It was specifically for girls that were, you know, doing beauty and fashion videos, and it was so much easier to leverage and, you know, work with other girls and other content creators that were interested in the same thing. We all collaborated and worked together and grew our channels. And then I got back to Austin, and it was a lot harder. There were a couple that I'd met, but it was just, I don't think it was really understood, especially whenever, because I just love Austin, I try to work with, you know, local brands and get other advocates that were from Austin behind me, and like, let's all do this together. And I think a lot of people didn't really understand. But I think that is changing. I know that YouTube is actually having a content creator day next Friday, I believe. So YouTube's gonna be in town, so that's gonna be great.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so actually I think it's open to the public, so everyone, you can Google it and figure out when that
I
is.
got like a 2-sentence email, so you didn't miss much.
Yeah. I'm gonna be on the panel, and I'm really nervous, so y'all should come.
This is the shit that drives me insane.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there are more creators here. Like, we discovered a Let's Player with like 2 million subs that we didn't know was here, and we were just like, come play with us.
Can you explain what that means? Because some of us aren't in
Let's
that
Player?
space. Yeah.
Yeah, a Let's Player is usually a dude, but sometimes a woman, who sits in front of a camera and plays a game and screams a lot. Think about PewDiePie. PewDiePie is the most well-known Let's Player on the planet. He's got 26 million subs, but it's a massive, massive genre, and we own the YouTube channel. We own the YouTube channel Let's Play, youtube.com/Let's Play, and we're actually building out partners and friends who we love in the industry. We're bringing them into this little family we have called Let's Play, and it started with, you know, Rooster Teeth's Achievement Hunter, and then we have the Funhouse guys in LA. But it's also built around a community and a passion for gaming.
Are you playing it all with Twitch? Because I know like guys like Recful, who has a pretty big following on Twitch.
Well,
is
we're
here.
primarily YouTube. We mostly work with YouTube and other YouTubers. We've started working with more Twitch streamers. It's kind of part of it's kind of a business partnership.
Mhm.
Twitch is actually going to be at RTX this year, so we're kind of building more of a partnership with Twitch too. But it's all kind of the same family of people, right? People who sit and play games and yell at a camera and be funny, and you know, the entertaining ones rise to the top. The ones who are funny and smart and cool, like PewDiePie or others, rise to the top. But there are more people, I think, in Austin who are doing stuff like this that just we're not connecting. And as we're finding them,
Well, it's hard to find them because I've actively gone to folks like Twitch and said, can you just tell me who's here? And they won't.
well, I think it's on Twitch and YouTube to help facilitate that more. I think we need to put the burden on them to feel like, because big markets like Austin that have all these creators, I think they need to start helping bring those people together. And like this, if YouTube's coming to town next Friday, I think we should know about it, and I didn't know about it. I'm sure Matt probably knows or something, but I think they should be more visible.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Are they gonna do it in the
I
private
wouldn't have
space, or
known.
where are they doing this thing?
I'll forward it to you, or
Thank you.
to everyone who came here. I wouldn't have known, except like I happened to get this really long comment that like popped up on my phone in 4 parts. So I couldn't just like skip past it on my channel. And because I went into that, something popped up that was like, hey, just so you know, YouTube's coming to your town. But if I hadn't gotten that comment, I would have had no idea either. So the infrastructure is terrible, which is like my main complaint with YouTube in general, is like it's not easy to search YouTube. It's not easy to define quality control. Like YouTube is great, we all are thankful for it, but like there are some inherent issues. Just to more back up what you were saying, I do a ton of voiceover for video games, and I don't do it for any games in Austin. And Austin is a huge video game city. There's something weird about that, like why am I doing, you know, voiceover for games in Minnesota, but not for here? Also, again, just to back that up, there was a meetup group for YouTube creators, and I think it's gone under because no one stepped up to take it over. I was getting email blasts about this, maybe someone in the room knows. So like we couldn't even keep the Austin meetup group going for the YouTubers. So yeah, like let's make Capital Factory the hub or something. What I think is cool about Capital Factory, which is why I started coming to these events, is, and like content creators chime in, I think that there's such an opportunity to use the Austin tech and the startups and to do like branding and video collaborations with the content creators. So like part of my money has come from now, people trust me with their video and social campaigns because I've had success on video and social. So like helping these businesses come up with their initial, branding ideas. You're nodding your head, you've probably consulted on that too. Besides us just influencing and helping, tech people discover that, or like working with the video production at Capital Factory, like make the YouTubers or the content people here the spokespeople for that. Like, Rooster Teeth is in the city. I'm not gonna speak for you, but there are probably a lot of collaborations that are really mutually beneficial that could really grow the channels and growth of like all the businesses here and ours as well. Like it's all good if the brands are aligned to work together. So there's just so much opportunity. It should be happening here in Austin.
And I think I'm gonna open this up to questions that if anybody has it. Parlaying off of that, fuck New York is how I typically start things like this. It's on us if we want to actually eat, if we want to grow this scene, if we want to create more. It's not gonna be about, if the state government would only give us just a few more incentives, or if only Hollywood would produce just a couple more films here. No.
Can I interrupt?
Sure.
You say it's on us, because I'm a big proponent about doing it yourself. I do not play well with others at all. I am a very paranoid son of a bitch, man. I don't trust anyone, and because you hear a lot of talk about YouTube, and then you hear about getting paid through ad revenue, and what we've done. I never really trusted that model. I don't think that was always stable. YouTube is definitely making millionaires out of people, and right now we have a YouTube channel. In a few months we've been able to get 1 million hits a month now, and that's actually bringing in some good revenue for us. We are on SoundCloud too. We get good money from that at the moment, as long as they don't go to business. But what I just said right there, you don't know. You don't know if SoundCloud is going to go under at some point, and they actually pay us well, and it's going to hurt if it's gone. YouTube is a good source of income, but we on our site I said I wasn't going to do it if I didn't have an instant stream of revenue coming in that would actually be stable for us and support a business. And so that is why I put in, through my own. It's not Patreon. It's not anything. I built my own subscription base, and that is the biggest supporter of what we're doing right now. That is enough to allow me to get paid and hire some people and to keep the site afloat. And the site that we have is very video heavy, so it's a lot of money being spent on just the bandwidth alone. But I'm not knocking any other source of income out there. And certainly, I think YouTube is great. And we're with a partner called Broadband TV, and they're helping us out a lot. And YouTube is actually one of the biggest marketing strategies that we have. A lot of people are finding us through YouTube now. But I do think that if anyone really concentrates on yourself and be confident and just try to go out there and concentrate on, I'm gonna do it on my own and not depend on a lot of people at first, I think that it could actually work. There's always the freemium model that people talk about. What we do is we have people pay to watch our live streams. If they want to watch the stream later, they also have to pay for that, but they can watch it free on YouTube, and they can listen to the audio free at any point. And we do have a lot of people who say, wow, I hear you guys on the audio, and you talk about a lot of stuff. You have guests that come in, something crazy happens, it's an expression I can't see, a video you play, and then they sign up to subscribe to the site. So just, I'm just trying to put it in there to drive home that you don't always have to depend on these things that people tell you about that are already out there, because you hear about those celebrities. You can do it with your own base by yourself. It can be done.
I don't disagree. This is a bootstrap town. Like Austin at its core is very much, I'm not gonna take any investment. I'm just gonna figure out how to get this thing done. That being said, media is a team sport. You need collaborators, you need friends, you need family, or else you won't know when YouTube is coming to town. Okay? It is about the network to a certain extent.
And notice I wasn't saying that that's the case, because that's one of the things that we need to do on YouTube. We're told we need to collaborate with people. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have just a few. Rooster Teeth, actually, before you got there, they helped us out a lot. I'll tell you how Brian Brushwood helped us out a lot. I'm just saying, just don't wait for that. Don't use it as an excuse. You know, and actually, when you start something, people will want to collaborate with you once they find out that you don't have to be successful. They just know that this person's serious. Let me try to help them out. No, you're exactly right.
How do you find those people, though? I think that's what he's saying.
Find them at Austin Public.
No, and I love that. I'm coming. Making
Absolutely.
a music video, like, you know how many people are involved with that? And I don't want to Craigslist that, especially when there's, not saying there's anything wrong with it. You can find good people on Craigslist. But, creepers too. Ooh. But, no, I get what you're saying. Like, it should not be difficult to find the intense talent that's here. It's okay, I'm loud, you're good. Yeah.
Ooh, this man has a hand.
Yes, sir.
I got a question for Corey. So a couple of years ago, when you moved to the subscription model, I know at that time you were experiencing an issue with customer service. It was sort of a new thing. It seemed like it seemed like you were dealing with a lot of haters at that point. And do you feel like that has tapered off? Do you have control?
I dealt with haters because I started a subscription base.
It felt like that. Like when you moved to the subscription base, it seems like there was a lot of people that was griping about, I want my shit for free. Right, and I think there were points where you seemed frustrated. You know,
I wasn't frustrated. Well, yeah, no, I was frustrated because, you know, those people it wasn't a lot of people. It was just a handful of people, and as you know, those people are loud. You know, one of the comments that, if you want to talk about irritated, one of the comments that irritated me the most was, well, why do you have to put the burden of your site on us? And I was like, well, we're moving to a business. We're not just putting a burden on it. We're offering a lot of things for free. We're asking you to pay for a premium thing right here. And, you know, in a business, I mean, it's funny how people see creative areas that's different from any other business out there. You know, I mean, like, we've all heard the analogy of, see, I'm an animator, and by trade, and I'm an illustrator. That's how I started out doing this stuff. And I would always get people say, people have heard this before, if you do this, they say, hey, can you come to my kid's birthday party and draw caricatures? And I'm like, well, hey, can I come to your law firm and get free, legal advice? It's fun, right? You like being a lawyer, and so people, they don't see doing something creative, especially on the internet now. It's still not something tangible for a lot of people. And so, I told that guy, we're running a business, man. When this is not going to be here if that's not the case. I mean, go to a restaurant and have them give you some food and say, why are you putting the burden of the cost of this food on me? You like being a chef. I mean, it's but most people were okay with that. Fortunately, it was a lot of young people who recognized that this is this model is becoming a regular thing now, and most people wanted to support. And I'll tell you something too. That a lot of people were saying that ain't even on our site now. They just want to gripe. That's all. So
people are dicks. Tay, you're very popular on Reddit. You can tell us a little bit probably about people being awful.
Oh yeah, like I get like RIP my ears. I'm glad my grandma died, so you didn't have to listen to this expletive. I don't know. Can we curse at Capital Factory?
I've been cursing constantly.
Okay, oh, great, yeah. And then like obviously like men on Reddit and what men on Reddit do with women YouTubers. I'm sure you know what's up with that. Yeah, there are so many haters for sure. But I think again, like what is so exciting about Austin, like love or hate, it's true, like publicity is publicity. The haters galvanize my fans. I'm sure you guys see this. Like for all the hate stuff I get double the amount of fans who are like, don't say this to her, she's my role model, like, the stuff that makes you cry and is excited. And then those people subscribe to me on Patreon, and those people want the t-shirt or whatever it is. So everyone should be doing that with their business in this room. And if you're techie and you don't have that kind of creative mind or whatever, oh my God, here's a bunch of people and other people in Austin who can add that to whatever you're doing, because we've all seen Rooster Teeth the most. You guys, they have a convention that takes over the Austin Convention Center. What was it, 90,000 people last year? 50? Okay, 50,000 people. that's just a nerd convention that people fly. I went and I met someone from New Zealand, all over the country. They spend all their money just to come to this specific nerd convention, you know? And, huh?
Mostly to meet Gavin.
Okay, there you go. But I'm sure we've all had experiences of that. So like, if you have a good idea, people should be able to get just as excited about your business, and then it's just on you to like make creative content so that they can find and understand what you're doing. And like, it's again, it's all super mutually compatible. But we're proof that like you can create fandoms who will go to bat for you.
Other questions, Michelle?
Last question, so there's sort of a spectrum of production, right? So you could be sort of the lazy vlog and you're doing this, all the way to, we have a feature film. So kind of what does that look like? A lot of it, because the model depends on how much money you spend to make the thing you want to monetize. So what does that spectrum look like in Austin? Cheap to high, it's easy to do, it's hard to do, you cap out at $1 million.
We kind of do it all, you know, we've gotten to the point where we do it all. We do a lot of the phone this thing still, but then we make films and we make series. I mean, we just wrapped a series where it was a full-on, you know, AMC level, network level series. We had crews and trucks and catering and the whole bit.
Is that the 5 day later?
Day 5, yeah.
Day 5.
And you know, we're fortunate we've gotten to that level that we have the funding to be able to do that. We still have to do it lean. We still have to do it fast. We still have to use a lot of our internal resources and minimize what we hire out as much as possible to try to make budgets. But we're able to do that because we just run the spectrum. We have guys sitting in front of cameras playing games. We have, you know, we still make a ton of content of just like, you know, really off the cuff, quick stuff. And we have a studio where we make really high level, you know, broadcast production. And we try to just use as many resources as we can across these different areas to try to stay within our budgets that we need to be.
And how easy is it for people to scale, right? Like, so if you're an individual in Austin and you want to go from, you know, you can go to Austin Public, you can go like, what is the ramp up to then? Oh, and then you're at the full screen level where you have sort of real budgets.
I mean, and the important thing to say is that it's all possible here, that we have the infrastructure, the actual physical infrastructure to do anything people want to do. You know, you can talk about how Rooster Teeth arrived on the Austin Film Society campus and sort of slowly took over. You didn't take over right away, but you started to scale little by little and, you know, have this bungalow and then this stage and then all the stages. And so I think it's really important for people to understand that, you know, there's hope. Like, if you really want to do something that's, you know, big and important and, you know, most of all honest, I think you guys talk about authenticity. Like, you can do that. You can do all the things here.
Yeah, and just like getting specific, I'm a hustler. We probably all are. He mentioned it. So I have an iPhone 6s Plus because that has a 4K camera on it. And for $150 on Amazon Prime, I bought a rig that has a high quality mic and light that you can attach to it. So if I'm vlogging or if I'm like, you know, doing like a 30-second, I don't know, short vid, something funny, sometimes I'll do that for a company who doesn't have a high budget. You can get really good quality content, and like we just all learned what lighting is, or like a photographer, like we know how to make things look good. Music video, that can be like super hustling, anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. Then that's when you're calling on your fans, you're working like a cocktail waitress. You know, we probably all have as creators, but there are lots of really cool hacks because of cell phone technology now.
And also knowing people and knowing who your network is. I just, at the Dot, we're just doing a partnership with a contraceptive company that's coming out with a new product on Indiegogo, and it's a big campaign, and I actually know somebody who's a very, you know, sex positive and just vivacious, great on camera woman who would love to make, you know, not as much money as you would typically see for a piece of branded content like this. You gotta know people. You've gotta meet as many people as possible. You've gotta develop your network to, you know, establish, you know, what you're gonna be doing. And then, and if I could be a downer for a half, no.
You keep
We'll
saying that,
talk
but
about it later. To be a downer for a second, it's hard. It will take more time than you expect, and you're gonna fail a lot. The important thing is just don't fail the same way twice. You know, fail a little bit differently each time, and somehow you'll figure it out. Or you might not, but at least you will have hopefully had a good time along the way.
I actually have a question too for y'all. So whenever you do have those budgets where you can create, better quality content, maybe you're now in a studio, whatever it is. Cause like for me personally, the first time I worked with a dress company, I was supposed to do a prom, makeup tutorial, hair tutorial, and it was in my bedroom in college, and like you can see my roommate studying in the background, and it's actually 3 o'clock in the morning because I had an exam the next day, and I had to span like my dress, but it's just me like filming by myself, and so I like got a grocery cart. This was like, I was like, maybe I should be an engineer after this, and I tied a string to it and put the stand in there with the camera and like pulled it as I was smiling with my prom dress on.
That's
and
literally just from the like kludginess of it is the sexiest thing I've ever heard.
Oh my gosh.
Like just like to hack the production that way is
Honestly,
awesome.
if someone could have filmed that, like that would have been viral, like the behind the scenes. But anyway, but that video, I mean, since then I had these experiences going out to YouTube Space LA, and I got to film on a white cyc, which was like crazy. Like I had a white background with no shadows, like it wasn't construction paper all of a sudden. I also got to film on a red camera, which I thought was like really cute. I was like, oh, red camera, that's so cool. But no, they actually filmed the Gladiator with that. And I had a crew that was working for me, and like I actually told the crew to go home, and I went and filmed my video in the bathroom of YouTube Space that day because I didn't know how to handle it. But some of these videos that were a little bit more produced, like my audience really didn't like them because they were like, Danny, you don't have to try to be something you're not, or like we want to see you in your like natural element, and we want to see you like the way that you've been. You don't have to change. Like, did y'all have good responses to whenever you kind of like upped your quality and kind of transitioned into something different?
Yeah, I think so. I think it just comes back to doing a little at a time. I mean, I think up until recently, Rooster Teeth was still doing hacks like that. You had just a group of people, and they're like, we want to do this thing bigger and better. How do we do it? Well, let us hack it together somehow. I think it's just about keeping it like honest and keeping it genuine and kind of being transparent about it. Like we're doing these things bigger and better, but we still love what we do. We still love you guys. We're making stuff for you, and our fans have kind of grown with us, and they're proud of us. They think it's cool that we're doing that now. So they kind of understand, and we do get a lot of the same of like, oh, we liked it when you guys just did like the one camera stuff that was just you guys sitting at the table. And we still try to do some of that sometimes, and still, like I said, sometimes we shoot stuff that's just like someone in a desk with an iPhone. But for the most part, they're like, yeah, we really appreciate what you guys are trying to do because we know you're trying to do bigger and better.
Yeah.
Questions?
Specific to that, like say for instance, Zach Anner, right? Like he has really great looking, looks like a morning television show. And then they went from, just above handheld level. Is he seeing benefits, do you feel like, from that production upgrade?
I don't think Zach is doing that show for us.
What?
We do a lot of work with Zach,
Okay.
and he writes a lot of our stuff. We can't really afford Zach. He makes a lot of money. He's a really talented dude. But our fans really love him. But I just don't know enough about his show. Sorry.
A couple more questions? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for Danny. Earlier in your intro, you were talking about affiliate programs. Can you describe what they are and how you came about designing them or developing them?
Right, so I started my fashion blog a year ago, and I got connected with Like to Know It. Have you heard of Reward Style by chance? So that's a platform where a lot of different retailers and designers can be a part of this platform. You have to have a certain amount of sales and like visitors to your website each month to even qualify. But since then, like most of the places that I do shop and most of the things I wear that I feature on my Instagram, these brands are a part of Like to Know It. And so anytime I post a picture on my Instagram or blog, then I can link the reward style where to find this exact outfit. And so they can click through and find it, and then most of the bloggers will make a percentage from that sale. And it just depends on like the certain retailer. And then a lot of brands like Bare Minerals, a lot of makeup brands have their own affiliate programs, which I don't engage in as much, just because there's so much time and effort that goes into managing affiliate programs. So I really like to work with Like to Know It and then Shop Style, which both just have a huge. I mean, they even have Amazon on there, so you can really link anything. Like I linked my vacuum cleaner on there and sold a couple of those, so that was fun.
Yeah, basically, you can do affiliate marketing through Amazon to make anywhere from 4 to 7% on damn near anything that's on Amazon. So actually, a lot of people are having a very successful career because they're really passionate about math. what is this thing that they're passionate about? I'm passionate about Legos, I'm passionate about DVDs, and I really dig Hayao Miyazaki, and I write about anime all the time, and now I'm gonna put a DVD up like, oh shit, there's a sale on Hayao Miyazaki things, you guys should go out and buy that, and you're getting 5 to 7% of every sale of that that's going through. There are also companies there's companies like Stack Commerce, there's In Town Big Commerce, that platforms that, can help you leverage, if you've got this fan base, if you've got this community, and most importantly, if they trust you, if you've got the relationship with them, and they trust you to say, I'm not going to shill shit, I stand by this is good stuff, and if you buy this and you like this, it's also helping me out too. So it's about that transparency.
Right, and that's something that Corey mentioned earlier, which I totally agree. I think that we probably all paid our dues in terms of creating content where we weren't getting paid and it wasn't monetized. But we spent that time really building our audiences and getting that trust from them. Then
Took us longer.
well, I think it's just really. Maybe there are some people that approach this from I'm just going to make money out of the gate. But I think that most people that have a audience that is, they really trust the influencer. It's because they came to us because they felt like we were friends to them and they really trusted us, and we weren't trying to sell anything. We were just trying to, I remember I started my channel specifically with the thought I want to be the big sister I wish I would have had whenever I was super awkward going through puberty in high school. So, most of the video ideas I had were catering, those questions I had whenever I was in high school, and I wasn't trying to sell a thing. I was just talking about what I liked, what I did, and then later down the road, you start to work in monetizing, but you also are very transparent with your audience. And I had to tell them, I was like, hey guys, this video is sponsored by Neutrogena, but y'all know I love Neutrogena, and I've been using it for 2 years, and it's helped me with my pimples or acne or whatever. And so people are, I think they're more apt to support you and be excited for you rather than being upset about it.
Okay, last question. Yes, sir.
Oh, sure. So I think that kind of goes to one of the questions we had earlier. It sounds like, is there any way to not recreate the wheel with having to basically not be monetized until you've created an audience? Or is it really, just the takeaway here is that you're going to not have, you're not going to be making any money until you've got an audience?
I'm so happy you said that. I know, because my success, you started a couple years ago. My success happened a couple years ago where viral still meant something. Now something goes viral every day. I'm the first to admit it. Being viral doesn't mean anything. I was chasing the numbers for so long. It kind of talks about what you were asking before as well. Chasing the numbers, looking at my demographics, being super technical about it. Okay, my fans like this, this, and this. So this next music video needs to be about this. And I used to have platinum blonde hair, the whole thing. I'm gonna be the smart Barbie. You probably all wanna kill me right now after saying that. Who wants to be around that person? They didn't, it didn't work. So I learned the hard way, and I think where our industry's at now, that it's about engagement. It's not about numbers. So when you're talking about that audience, and when I consult with brands or businesses now, it really is what is the heart of what you're doing? Hopefully it's good. If it's not good, it's not going to go anywhere. But if it is good, and you can find a palpable, relatable way to show that, and put it together in a way that looks nice, whether that's using the resources they have here, or however you're going to put together that content, it will work, because people want to like things. You're not selling if you're just displaying a good idea. So whether it's a business idea, whether it's being the big sister, I love that. I want to go watch your channel now. I had to realize that I wasn't the smart Barbie. I was awkward, and my fans were awkward. And then all of a sudden they liked me again. If you can figure out what the heart is and show that, you will start making money and it will start building. And it doesn't have to go viral anymore because it doesn't mean anything. Facebook Live, the watermelon went viral. People go and buy watermelons after that? No.
Yeah, so are you asking specifically how long you should do something before you get paid, or?
Yeah, maybe. That's a really.
Because I think if you start, immediately you start thinking man, I'm gonna start this and get paid. You off to a bad start already.
Say it that way. When do you know when to cut the cord?
Cut the cord with what specifically? Or?
Well,
when it isn't fun anymore.
When isn't fun?
Okay.
Is that when it? Yeah, I always think you already hear a lot of people here saying that they started out doing something because they loved it, or because because they just want to do something and it felt good and it worked. And it kind of connects to what you were even saying earlier. It's like, I think your audience recognizes when you're not authentic or you're not being, real about what you do. And you shouldn't ever put a time on when you should start and when you should stop. You should just do something until it happens. Like I said, we did this Access television show for 10 years. 10 years without getting paid, just because we like having as my friend would say, we had a poker night on Wednesdays, and we get free movies. And then, as far as what we do, going to that next level, the reason why when I stopped doing the Access show, the only reason why we ever started getting paid is because I was bored, I didn't have too much of a life, and I started animating videos and put them, when they got put up on YouTube, that's when we got bought out of just doing, a stupid little hobby that hardly anybody was seeing. Which goes to prove that you can start out without having to work with too much of anything. Even the whole time we were doing the site, spill.com, we weren't recording in what we had right now. And right now we have a studio off of Fifth Street, and it's a kind of a $10,000 setup. But when we were owned by another company and making money for them, we were just coming home from movies and recording in our bedroom, and pissing off the neighbors and everything. But I think once it's not fun anymore, once you consider that it's boring, even if you're making money with it, you're not gonna ever want to do it again, because at that point it's gonna be a job.
And what I keep hearing you saying is like the people, right? You got your man in the back, it's the people that you hang out with and the people that you're doing it together with. That's what also keeps it fun.
That's why I guess you and I were butting heads on that one thing, because I've always found that if you're passionate about something, and I get into arguments all the time with people about that word passion. If you're passionate about something and you're doing it and you're the only one doing it, you're gonna find somebody who's gonna say, I just want to do something too, and it looks like you're doing it, and I'm gonna hang out with you and help you out. I've had so many groups of people come in and just say, hey, let me just help you out without getting paid for years. Just because one person was spearheading the project and getting stuff done. Not just doing it, not just talking, but getting it done. And getting it done because everybody enjoyed doing it. So if you ever get bored with something, stop. Even if you're getting money, stop.
Build your network, build your community, because a friend will come and help you do something. If you're passionate about something, and build it. A good friend will tell you that thing is stupid and you're making a giant mistake, and still help you do it.
For sure. If it's bad, if it's bad, it's bad. But you're gonna find that out no matter what. But if you're here, or you're an incubator, or people are telling you it's good, or you've had some success, then you just have to figure out what the magic sauce is that's gonna make it explode, that's gonna make it pop, that's gonna hit your buyers. Last thing is coming up with a social campaign is a huge way to not only get proof of if your idea is good or not, but start generating that revenue. Figuring out a way to get engagement or something going that coincides with your product. Very difficult to talk about, unless you know what you're doing, but whether that's creating a hashtag and you're retweeting it, whether that's getting people to use your product in a kooky, fun way that their friends will also like. Social campaigns are huge and a great way to spread.
So I'd like to thank you all for joining us. I want to toss this over to Colaborator real quick. We're going to go into our second part of our activities, which is basically, y'all need to talk. Somebody here has an idea and needs somebody else that's here. So y'all talk.
Josh, everybody, I'm Douglas. I just want to say first off, thanks to Capital Factory and Studios, Josh and Ashley, and all the panelists. Colaborator is a marketplace that connects companies to video creator professionals who make content. We're just a marketplace. We don't make anything. We give tools to the companies. We give tools to creators. They can connect, and so people can pay for content, people can work for content. That's truly who we are. We're from Los Angeles, so I'm sorry. That being said, Texas is very, very important to us, and we have done a partnership here with Capital Factory Studios and Austin Film Society and Austin Public, and Rooster Teeth is a client of ours, The Chive is a client of ours, Josh's other company, Daily Dots, is a client of ours, C3, Live Nation is a client of ours here. So Austin and Texas is very important to us. And on the creator side, we've never actually talked about a lot when we come to these meetups and because we sponsor them. We give creators, professionals, really cool tools to not only put their best foot forward and apply for jobs or to pitch creative work to companies and brands who need content, but we also, at the heart of the company, we have what's called a project tool, which gives creators the opportunity to go in and with no money, go, I have this really cool idea for this web series that I want to create, and I want to find like-minded people, and they may not even be in Austin, they might be in Tallahassee, they might be in Canada for that matter. And so it gives opportunity. Tay, you were saying, like, I don't know how to find anyone in Austin. The first meetup I came to, everyone was saying that, and I was like, holy fucking shit. Colaborator would solve for that, because Austin's incredibly important to us. It's incredibly important to me, because I was born and raised here. So that's who we are, that's what we do. And I'd love for you to come talk to me, talk to Mindy, my colleague Kevin here with the New York Yankees hat on, Andres in the back with the really, really cool spectacles he just bought, and really handsome, bro. This is a networking opportunity. Colaborator Studios and Collaborator have some really, really cool ideas coming up later this summer for new ways to network. But tonight, let's just eat tacos, drink tequila, and Lone Star, and Corona, and let's network. Thank you.
Here, buddy. And cameras? John, cameras, good. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is like a very good company I was in.
Thank you, man. Hey, you too, man. Yeah, so I went back and I was like, let me look at what's going on with Corey's content. And I found an episode of the show you did in Studio 2, or Mike in the Mini Studio. And it was like, somebody came onto the set and they weren't supposed to be there.
And a fight broke out?
Yeah! That's the first episode I found. I was like, what is this? And I also looked at the new stuff and I was like, man, came a long way, like really,
Yeah, man. After all those years, hopefully a little progress has been made. But I'm so happy to hear what's going on with
yeah, you should come back,
Access,
man. Yeah, we want to do more things like this here. Josh has been really awesome in like connecting people. Like I meet people here all the time, which is great. Every month, my third month already. It's like kind of weird, yeah.
No, this is awesome.
Reverse AA.
It's helpful to a lot of people.
I mean, there are, what the startup community does is they have a mentor class. Like it or not, dude, you're part of the mentor class. And so it's about creating the infrastructure here to answer some of those questions.
Well, it's funny because what they're talking about, they just get together and stuff.
So, like, the more the better.
That's kind of what you initially want to do.
Hi. Hey, how's it going, man? That's all I really
Carrie, nice to meet you. Carrie. Michelle and Matt.
This makes you go around.
What are you guys shooting on 360? What kind of 360 camera are you using?
So, new people are
I was going to talk about Austin Public and
I'm Kevin. I'm one of the coaches.
I have a couple like more orientation classes.
oh, right on.
That's actually exactly what
big green site, air conditioning, DMX lighting, like all state of the art. We have things like that, and sometimes people make cookies. Really good. Like an AA diet. Yeah.
we could do it.
And then but then emotions, and you have those two ways, right? And you come up with like a really cool thing. Corey, who's up here, sold the company for a long time. Went on his own.
But that's a specific thing, like a membership.
You can go, you can pay to be a producer and sort of learn how to do things. But if you're already in the season, there's town with years, we can help work to produce. The third part of that is I make stuff. Documentaries for the party. Mostly focused on the Incubator and entrepreneurial team. But I think my background is mostly what I do, but now I have sort of moved to this story, which is really kind of I'll back up like 2 weeks, and I went to also do international theater. I heard this amazing theater. He has his own, like, he has his own interviewer, and then one person panel. guy, you know, who's just trying to end and then probably know now already. An executive is trying to end the ball, right? But so like as you do work, you're also on your phone. Listen to this guy up. Where he was his access, background. He had a really popular television show on Los Angeles cable access, and that's when he got his start. And now he's an executive in a big, you know, media content company, and like really champions all these people. Enough about that. What do you guys think?
F1 is in October. X Games is there last weekend. And we have concerts all season long. We have other local events. F1 is Taylor
I'm a writer and producer, so I just moved from Los Angeles. So I was working for a bunch of shows. I was working for Bold TV out there, which is the Top Guys Network, and I was at Reel's channel for a long time, and I worked on sitcoms as a writer. So yeah, so just out here trying to you know, meet people and continue on that path, you know, in production. So I've done, you know, just a few things here and there, and I have freelance stuff back to that.
Yeah, when I met the drug people last night, everyone was still working for New York, but eventually it's going to happen, like you're going to have to collaborate or make stuff here, or like do something that's not tied to other people. So it's exciting. I grew up in Chicago, and I have a son, but too, and I'm like, I moved back here after 2 years living in Denver, you know, booming on the show, but I was like, Austin is like a good bet. Like it's a good bet. Ultimately, like we're from Chicago, we're from LA, we're from I just like, you know, come here and just like buy into it because it's exciting. Like I was living here in 2010, it was a little bit different. It's got to take, got to do it, and we're going to be a thing. Yeah. So we're run by the Actually, yeah. We're an advocate. We give out grants if we want to make content. We have the education. We have the space, all those things. I haven't really gotten into the original content. I think that I would like to have I just
I saw you at the Optical Society, so bought public access and stuff, following one of the guests, seeing all that stuff, yes, we kind of had that same question too. And it feels like something like you guys are thinking about, or something that would be interesting.
I haven't had that meeting yet, it's all in my head right now.
Yeah,
I'm sure we're going to have
actually hired kids in the program to do like extension.
I was here last month and the guy was talking about this idea of sort of
undergrad, yeah,
where it's like, yeah, it's YouTube, or it's like, it's just a TED Talk, which is like, it started out as people standing on a stage, it still is, but it, you know, there's confidence to give it up into the world, and, you know, like
so we would shut down.
It's exciting. Nowadays, it's starts with I've had it premium, it doesn't have to be like really high quality, but the people have to be. Yeah. So we give you guys my card, and you guys.
No, we'll do it. We negotiate.
Let's go, man. I was talking about come by.
Yeah. I'll email you. I don't have a card on me.
Yeah, sure. I'm very interested in, you know,
No, I'm in the middle of the schedule. So the first part was
already talked to him, but he has no
Yeah, I know. I probably want to get all this thing. I know that Anna's going to give it like a so far. But it's like
there was Colaborator.
I've got to handle this.
Because the thing about those guys is they're a partner of and they will sponsor this event. Usually out of like trying to get more but they're going massive. Like, we're gonna plant some guys here. So Douglas is historical and like knows this stuff. It's like I mean, who's pulling it up in the lab? Really has to know everyone else. How awesome.
Yes. Thomas. Yep. Okay, cool.
Sorry. I'm pivoting her this day.
I'm Steven.
Great friends of mine. Awesome stuff. And then Dana and I started working together for the nonprofit I was talking about. Yeah, we're raising up women and
And hopefully
nationally. But I just wanted to connect all because I feel like there's good synergy.
Yeah, so the reason we're actually going out, like, I have a startup and we're actually going specifically after like but I never really identified anybody who's Austin, so I never actually had conversations. So what we're doing is making an app and for iPhone. It lets you essentially take the video that you see on YouTube and we just send it like basically the other ones. And then we're also building just like a comment where everybody uses videos. And there's a mix. You can text comment or you can upload videos.
Same guy that does your hair care product, John Paul.
Yeah, so the launch it recently, we haven't been the app for but just a few months, but we decided it was a really big opportunity for us to work with just like publishers. And so the flow is like you see a video online, you can just click a button and then it's going to notification on your phone and the video. Recording all the comments and when we post it, it just goes right back.
I'm curious, like I had the wrong
That's the story of the ad. That's a great PR story. All right, it's about media. It's about getting things. Fair enough. What's that?
I think it's down.
So it's basically like, so anytime you want to do that, like, you would actually put out the content, like, it makes it so, like, even if it's super, yeah, you can push it right back up, and like, everybody can do it. It just goes into, it's just like a normal comment thread.
Well, no.
On the website. Yeah. So, okay, let's say this. A news website, videos, but sometimes they don't have videos, they're just like text articles. So just at the bottom, you're allowed to record text comments and so they're on the red board. So, but actually, the day of Josh video scene, yeah, so underneath, anytime you post a video for apps, you can share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, basically. No, it's just, it's more actually for like publisher websites. They get to have all of this information. So what like the $1 billion party is, that I really would like to see, was since you make videos, you see the value in having like hundreds of thousands of text comments on YouTube pages. You see the value in getting studio comments and they will like reply with getting like really like enrich the experience.
I got a great experience, you know, because we're signs of different platforms
Yeah, so the way we're kind of going right now is we're looking for partners to like websites and stuff to go. YouTube's going to be a tough one because you can't really grab they don't even give you like a reviews. So they don't give us like some people. But we were just really like to see it. Text comments and like message board style of interaction is as long as you feel like your fans feel comfortable like recording videos, like maybe like use a portion of your video and making comments on it, so whatever, and you're cool with it.
So yeah, the rings are
I mean, we're not I'm from outside of We're married. We've been discovering we've been in Austin for 6 years.
I don't want to be a cameraman. Someone's making
You know Michelle Martel?
And it's okay.
nice thing is it's all corporate. It's a global. You could keep working at it.
The whole thing is like you're sitting in the chair, right? The demo that I saw was that you're in a swivel chair and you end up episode a lot more right? You're in episode all the actors are sitting there, musician goggles on, you're like, you start talking.
Well, the Euro is actually really deep right now. I just got back from 3.5 weeks ago. So it's a nice time to go. We flew to Paris, and then we were in a car. We saw some shit. And then we stayed in southern Germany, we stayed in Austria for 5 days. Hung back through Switzerland, and we went to Burgundy, wine country in France, and back up to Paris.
And you go like this, and it's another top. Right? And so you're like doing this, and you're more
But he's right, the Euro's like,
and it's like, the music, you
I mean, it's still not,
Wait, you mean like the links or the cost?
Oh,
okay.
We eventually gave up on that. Same thing, conversation between me and
It's like a little less security, like traveling. You're talking to you. You used to talk to this all the time with college.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it alone, especially in
So we're on like kind of 2 to 3 months and we're kind of building things out there that should be. And we're going to kind of be launching a product. So at that time, I'd really love to meet sponsor drinks or something like that. Just kind of fit into the surrounding conversation.
Yeah, we have space.
Oh yeah, he finished up. Yeah, that's my Again, my name's Steven. Thanks for speaking.
We actually had a case which we could experiment with in the
Yeah,
you should come by and look.
Yeah, I'd love to come by and just play around with it.
At this point, we're trying to figure out ready for the work? Played around.
Drawing up consumers on it, and nobody can sit on the couch. So I think
now they're basically connected to the last 6 months. Like motion graphics are really difficult to get in because it's not a flash universe, it's a spherical universe. So you'll drop graphics. Originally you drop graphics and they were in the sphere with like top lines there. Instead of doing any editing stuff.
we all right now feel as like having seen some of
Exactly the job description. Well, actually, and in that sense, actively get like in a graphic sense, you'll find even in a 2D video universe, you really play with graphics and have them like a flat screen where it's kind of just there. You really can have the graphics for a scene.
which is why it's good education.
I'll shoot you. You're the first VR person. The biggest VR yeah, so if you like go to the VR meetup every month here, it's $95. Which is great. You're not for the gaming world without experience that shit. So we're going to start a Facebook group. It's great. How to tell stories and how do we shoot it and how do we graphics.
start collaborating a lot better. It's entirely free versus the game. Right. Yeah. So Google's doing that. They bought a company called Magic Leap. It's more, it won't be VR, it'll be augmented reality. It's a little bit different. You'll be able to see the universe, but you'll be able to project things in the universe. It's also what Microsoft is doing. So we can like project the TV screen here that we might be able to see. And they'll do that through like direct computer. Sounds a little scary, but the same way light works, I mean, like photons are eating into our eyes right now. Yeah, I'll shoot you now. Jimmy and Ethan want to talk about through it. After you come on. And I'll come out. I'd love to come out and see you. Yeah, I appreciate it. No, go do it. We'll play around in there in the future. Good to meet you.
Yeah, no. If I don't, it's because I lost my cards. Reach out. Absolutely reach out. I see where you are. And I know that people posting news and gifts is very, very common. But that added step of snipping out content for this content, I'm having trouble.
Yeah, we got like a ton of requests for this. So like, why don't we just start a company for this?
People engage, like the closest thing that people engage with the video in the comment section.
Focus mostly on
an exclamation mark, as opposed to asking someone in the chat
yeah, it really depends. Like, mostly it matters the budget size, whether I have full creative control or not. You know, because if it's like a bigger company, yeah, we do everything.
So that's good. So that makes sense. So I think for sites like
you want a card? We just rebranded, so this is the site before we put it out.
less so for
So what did we do? We came in late. I didn't know
nice. My gut is done. I know that. We'll come and talk to you. It's not a risk. I'm just launching a custom player on the site.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
But at this moment in time, it's not
Good to hang out.
outside of this right now, there's not a whole heck of a lot, you know, that you see. So I'm like, what, it's really not going
You have all these other sites, so it's so professional and I hate you for that.
How do I find you? You have so many cards. Is there a game that you play? It's crazy. It's great. Iceland.
I didn't figure out how to mark for the longest time, and then you said something.
So like when you go to that site, it's going to say from someone else. It's going to be really good. Yeah. Right. We've been tired. In the file. And now it's called last time. Where we're at, literally as of or you go to the site and I'll take you another one. I'm going to take you another one. That gives you a password for the first one. It's not. Yeah, we sound like
What's the percentage of things that you got paid for early on?
Well, here's the thing. There's only one real project that I've ever done that I didn't get paid for that. That was I downloaded a company that was running like marketing. I downloaded hours of got them together for I still find it I learned more about editing from that podcast, but that was everything else was
It's a different set of expectations. I feel like being at the point where if after 3 weeks you say a bunch of these,
look, I thought I just started to way out.
to me it's a major concession.
Want to get paid. Like fucking job rate on everything. And then discovered like the
And the other big thing
I've always been
Right. By the way, these are ours.
Was there? Was there?
Insane amount of incredible amount of purchasing. There's a lot of purchasing. It's not the freight. It's like the Google Fiber system. It's like this incredible cloud that that's what's this. One the collaborator. Literally, we want to make a speed dating event. But it's neat stuff.
Yeah, but you have to
picture shit.
map it and turn it off. Like if you're in your because this is your you're going to smash into your computer.
We created it because this is so desperately needs
space and or you could be running, you have a thing, you're not going anywhere, so
that's the thing, you're less than 2 minutes away from anybody.
I don't create VR programs.
It's just you don't know it.
And made the program happen.
To get to the financing
level.
Literally. And then we can companies like, okay, it's awesome. You can do that. They want to.
Well, the challenge for this one we created was initially stereoscopic 3D and then added VR. So like how do you do immersive storytelling? Like yeah, much of work in that space as stereoscopic 3D concepts. And felt like nobody was paying any attention and you were either Scorsese or Grace or somebody else. And like, teaching how to use these tools to become part of the story concept. And I don't think there still is, but at the time there was no other college curriculum in America that taught how to sort of think about immersive storytelling. So we created a program about fundamental foundation, and it was just wrapping it forward. Yeah, we're gonna do two panels, one in the fall
We're diving into I enjoyed that a lot.
For sure. So I'm always.
Thank you, Josh.
I'll tell you the he's not putting the focus towards
We also met one of the guys. They're an athlete. They use it. Sure. I mean, you got to major labs and your things are all connected. What I'm specifically doing is a live not just on the app, but people that are actively well, when I think of augmented reality, I think of reality and imposing anything. What I'm specifically talking about is a live video of this movie right now. And like a video game, I can step into it and move anywhere in this room because there are cameras that are live mapping everything for a second. That's what, like, this idea is you can do that with a static camera. You just can't do it in 3D class. That's the text. It's an incredible process. So there's some cool shit coming out. You know, the kind of thing that these guys are oh, no, I mean, they're all, there's going to be multiple cameras around a ring like this that can change going, that can yeah, I don't think I'm not a software engineer or anything like that. Austin Public is cable access. So cable access, 1% of all cable go to this cable access. It started as basically a way for people in the community to come in and make public service, community-driven shows, local news type things. Put on a local, lo-fi cheap cable access show, basketball, baseball. So YouTube before YouTube. So it goes on the local cable. Now with the interview too, what kind of happened is when they get the tongue. The tongue is they've got a studio with gear and education platform. It goes to show
cable. So you can also go in and go ahead and learn how to shoot, rent a camera, film a studio, find collaboration partners.
Big one. Like I know some
But you know why? Basically because they had no other content, right? And now this is what we can get, right? So let's just get this. It's just we're going against them now.
The one thing they did with these
live sports are not going live. Is the actual event itself, or is it more like features stuff around? Yeah, that's the one I saw. So important. Yeah, exactly.
Because he was an actor, violence,
right. I'm so glad we did money getting it people that have kind of made it on their side, that's what people would say, you know, they kind of like jump now falling in. And, you know, you get Josh up there, well, you're not going to fall in about it. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. But, you know, I don't know, I'm kind of in that zone where, you know, in the new media world where there is kind of like a good news. It's tried and true. Well, and the other side of that is it creates all these opportunities that, you know, work. And as the fashion that you never right? That's like a chance to block up the impact. talk soon. Nice to meet you as well. Oh, you actually.
Everything she was saying.
Hey guys, I'm so sorry, but we have to start clearing out the space. If we can start wrapping up conversations and clearing out the space.
Take 500 million from me.
Hand out your business cards, take down some numbers, write down some emails. Don't fall out of your chair.
Alright, cross your legs, CK.
Oh wait, I gotta hide my drink. So grandma does. Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, damn. Flip your hair, too. Oh, wait, do you want to snap or is it? You know what? That's what you gave me. Yeah?
Marketing. But that's, I have most of the
All right, take like 500 pictures. These guys.
Yeah. We just have to start breaking this space down.
Hold on. Hold on, Ashley. We're trying to get a good picture. All right.
Do you want this in there? Or put it in there?
Thank you. All right. We're looking good. We're looking.
either people like your personality or they don't. I mean, this would have been more.
Did you say is this for Tinder? Yes, 100% for Tinder. She asked if this was for Tinder, which is where all my pictures end up.
I mean,
It's like a rotation.
literally my ex-boyfriend, like, we have this one shirtless picture. We met on Match. Whoops, don't do that. We met on Match. Oh, okay. And someone else said, but yeah, he was with this shirtless picture, and I saw it, and I was like, hi, you're in a relationship. He's like, yeah, I had my friend take that from my Match profile. And it was like kind of candid, like that, where he was like sort of coming out of the water. Like, took that for Match?
Alright, which picture is better? This one or this one?
No, the other one's like you're boarding off his van. Like they're like coming at you, like, no, I can't right now.
This is my friend, he goes with me to every event.
Oh, apparently TK is a hookup. She's what we like to call an influencer. She influences a lot of people. She's also my sponsor at AA. So this is why we were very close.
And I saw your shirt up here and I was talking about I was like, I'm going to use that. My first impressions of people are if I don't like you at first, it means I don't love you. It's great.
Well, as soon as you said Blonde Barbie, I was in it. I was like, done, best BFFs.
Oh, but then it was like,
yeah, then you're like, oh wait. No, damn it. This is our friend Max. Max is a tennis instructor. It's Are you going to come out with us after? Say yes, say yes, say yes. Done. Where are we going? We're right next to 6th Street. We are going to...
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
You can't stay here. Ashley, great event.
Thank you.
Thank you, bros.
Let's all keep in contact.
Do you want to come out with us?
That was ridiculous. We're
Yes.
going to these and we're going to take gold. Prince tribute. Prince tribute.
I have the ring.
I thought you were going to make her kiss it. Kiss the ring, bitch. Kiss the ring. Where's Stagel?
I mean, Stegel's on the east side.
I know, where?
Yeah.
Is it by Shangri-La or is it by
Yeah, I know where Stegel is.
Oh, it's on Caesar. That's the dangerous part.
No, yeah, and I got my where do you want cigarettes and downstairs from the Stegel break the file and never gone.
No, you're saying.
How? You have to like, let me go get you. Me too. Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yes, I
No,
am.
yes,
How do you break this down? Jake,
I will.
How do I break it down? Show me.
Hey, if you can clean up your trash as well on your way out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Why can't I? like carry it like that. I'm just gonna carry it like that. Why can't I carry it? You guys gonna grab one and come help? Yeah. Alright, grab a chair. Come on, Jake.
I will, I promise. Hey, good.
You kicking it good? Kicking his butt?
Right? It has to like come up with this.
You'll learn its lesson.
Why is it working?
Yeah.
Why are these chairs sucking? Did you get it?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to actually like.
I mean, like the science of it is
Maybe it's
obviously,
glued together. So.
like the science of it is obviously.
Yeah, you should be able to just pull it.
That's how I was thinking it.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's not.
I don't know.
Yep.
She
Yeah, I bring you a little
asked
comedy.
question, I bring this chair.
Oh no, you're just breaking all of it.
Grabbing chair.
Yeah.
Grabbing chair.
Are you coming out with us, sir? I am not. I'm going home.
Oh, okay.
I have small children. They're sleeping, but still, I am old. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always worried about losing fingers.
I don't think that we can. I think because these are screw, these screw in.
Sorry.
Thanks again, man.
I'm gonna make you do it again. That was fun.
Man, anytime. Anytime you need me.
Excellent.
It's my pleasure.
Be careful what you what you say.
Sister, you want to do that? What? Thank
Yeah, I know.
Any branding to my mind is I can show like awkward ways that I've tried
Yeah. It'll be all sexy. Yeah, need something, right? Tell me I'm going in the right direction. Thank you for doing it. We do. That's part of it all.
How was maintaining?
I've already
Every single person needs a microphone. That's when I said that. You know, you can't get rid of yours because you're the moderator and you lose control, but we can't have microphones for a microphone. At least I got it closer to you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, you? How was the event?
How was the event?
I was in here for any event.
Oh, I wasn't either actually. I went to a workout class and then came back for the end. So I think it went well.
Good stuff.
I knew that was a possibility coming in.
Thanks, Fred.
Hey, we're all one team here, right, Holly?
One team, one dream.
Did you just come up with that, or?
No, I can't claim credit.
From somebody that won some kind of championship, I'm sure.
There you go, yeah, probably.
Muhammad Ali. For the future, the next one of these, we probably should take the tables. I know, right? It's like, we haven't gone through many chairs. Takes an extra 10 minutes. Once you get the hand, that's probably a completely extra one. Yes, right over. It looks like we have a few more chairs. We had a lot of unused chairs for people who couldn't get to them. They can, but then they get into where the beverage is. Lately, but
He's like, hey, what do you need to do? Let me know. So he's in. But yeah, but anyway,
It was, I mean, it was fine by me.
we're gonna be, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be fine. But I was gonna say, like, before I forget, 'cause I don't have to like set up a Skype with you or anything to talk about it. So like, you know, we were late because we were looking at apartments. I'm gonna be here, I don't know, probably starting in August for like a week here and a week there a lot. So I mean, I would love to have a conversation with you guys about having a place to work.
At Capital Factory?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a problem. We'll figure something out.
Okay. So it's like, we got a place to live, and it's like, you know.
There's like, there's scattered collectives around town that aren't doing well.
But what this community does is part of what we do. I'm saying before we remove the tables, we'll try to increase the membership.
Yeah, no.
I see a lot of low-hanging fruit. Yeah, at least keep it short term, and then, don't get rid of the tables yet.
No.
Don't sell them, just.
No, and I use them for hackathons.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just that it doesn't make sense to have them out and not used.
I agree.
You know, there's a secret I could show you. You just turn it.
You know, there's a couple of those chairs that probably go over here with these tables.
And then it's basically the. It's kind of quick, and some of them are broken. So of course you get one that's not working, but there you go. Do it slower. Keep going again. There you go. And that's where it's kind of designed to fit into the next one. And that way they kind of nicely tuck in each other, assuming they're not broken. I'm Holly, by the way. Hey, nice to meet you.
We're actually off from
Oh, cool. Oh, awesome.
Fold it up somewhere.
should be one more plug table. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
This table's up here, the one that goes right here.
Yeah, but there's one other one.
It's funny how they kind of, oh, I see.
There it is. It's a game. Yeah. It's probably been there for like 5 events or something now, right?
I would love to open that door.
That's my fault. I didn't have my shit together early enough for this one.
We lost it and we had a great time.
The tournament's only gonna keep getting bigger. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, yeah, oh. I'm gonna stand.
This one actually should go there so that it's in the middle and not right where somebody's working, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, there was one. Okay, but we can just temporarily. Thank you very much. I know, that's awesome.
Three of them anyway. We showed what it was like to get rid of one of them. And then we took those aspects. Two more. How many chairs?
I haven't been here.
These extra tables. Did you stay over here?
Keep the table back this time.
Yeah, well, the only thing is, it's random.
I debate going back.
I think since you're getting it.
I'll be like,
There's another good one you should do.
I need someone who I love to have come here and explain it to me.
I have that. I was just having a discussion on that. How did Austin with its
okay, we're done. We're going back downstairs, put this up, drink a little more wine downstairs.
water, have you been to the Greenbelt here?
Yeah, well, I haven't been in the water at the Greenbelt.
Well, yeah, the water looks green, but like that's natural. The water in the Galveston is just really dirty.
He's coming. Stay cool. Holly and Eric is gonna show next week.
Yeah. We're starting our media debut.
We're gonna do our podcast next week with him. Nice. Yeah. We'll do a ladies podcast.
Also, oh my gosh, see, Sam, I think is his name.
Do what?
I don't know. The guy we're talking to, I want to say his name is Sam.
Sam?
His sister's a lobbyist in California, and she kicks ass in a male-dominated industry. So I said we should have her as a guest